just in the previous segment, we're talking about this rabbit strike that delayed a plane out of Denver. It was going to Edmonton.
Not a duck strike.
Rabbit.
Duck?
Rabbit.
Duck.
Rabbit season. It's rabbit season there in Denver. And apparently we don't know how this animal got sucked into the engine of the plane, but they had to turn it around because fire was spitting out the engine, and finally the pilot said, okay, we can't go on to Edmonton. Now,
would you, if you're the pilot, keep on going to Canada?
I would have tried. He tried for an hour, and then they were like, no, can't do it.
Well, because you always hear they can make it on one engine, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I guess the fire keep coming
unpredictable.
Yeah. And plus the passengers have got to be unsteady as hell.
True. Then you got a panic on your hands back there in coach.
Oh, yeah, and I'd be panicking.
Big time. We heard the guy.
Yeah.
Come on. Now, Doug is on the line. You had something similar happen. Go ahead, Doug. He's talking about used to be in the military.
Yeah, I was going to say a long time ago, I was in the Air Force down at Pope Air Force Base down in Fayetteville, and I used to work on C-130 airframes. And one time it was at night, and I was just got done. I was marshaling out a plane, and I was just ready to go home, actually. And a deer ran across the tarmac, and it got sucked up into one of the propellers, and it just destroyed the one of the engines. And it just disintegrated it. It was just gone, and it cost it destroyed the one engine, and it messed up one of the other engines. I mean, it probably cost us like 2 weeks worth of work just from this one deer that ran across the tarmac. And the smell just still haunts me. It's just so bad. It was just awful.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. How was the deer?
Yeah. Bambi didn't make it.
I shouldn't have asked the question.
Yeah.
I don't want to know the answer to the question. I shouldn't have asked it,
Mm-hmm.
I hate to start Earth Day like this, too. This is Earth Day.
Yeah, it's a little weird that you start it like that.
I know.
It kind of reminded me of, there was an old film, and I can't remember when it was released, but in the olden monster movie days, you had Godzilla versus King Kong, Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus Gamera, all these Japanese men in rubber suit movies.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one animated one, I think it was animated crudely, called Godzilla versus Bambi.
Oh,
I think.
really?
Yeah. And it was a short film, and it kind of opened with this little deer just bopping along through the woods, and then you just see a giant dinosaur foot squash it.
This is awful.
And it says the end.
Why are we starting Earth Day like this with the death of deers and rabbits
And actual Bambi.
It's wrong in every way.
It's Circle of Life? Maybe?
It came on the news that today is Earth Day, and I said to Kristen, I thought that was the 20th. And no, because that's like Weed Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your Earth Day. It comes from the Earth, man.
Maybe that's why I got it confused. I thought for sure, I didn't know about Earth Day till I was in college, and I went to kind of a hippie university.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and you grew up in a town that just kind of tossed stuff out the window.
Exactly. We'd throw...
You threw hippies out the window.
Yeah.
My mother threw more McDonald's bags out the window. I mean, we'd just be on a trip and she'd just toss it. We'd eat all. She's like, all right, everybody collect the trash.
Yeah. When did that really change? The 80s?
Early to mid 80s, I would say.
What, the trash out the window?
Trash out the window. Yeah. When did that?
Oh, well, the Indian Indian was crying on TV in the 1970s.
In the 70s, he was crying.
Early 70s,
Well,
maybe or mid.
We didn't get the message until about 84. I think somebody finally said,
But
Mom,
now you see someone litter. I mean, when I see someone truly litter now, I am like stunned.
Me too.
Like I'll see occasionally, you'll still see somebody throw a bag, a cup or something out a window, not in a road rage, just like get this out of my car.
Yeah.
And I'm just always shocked. And I'll be honest, it's always somebody older. That's why I asked, when did it really change?
You know what I see too is sometimes people will come from a restaurant, donut shop, coffee shop, what have you. They'll have a bag with them, and the receipt will blow out.
Yeah.
Or a napkin will blow out, or the straw.
Yeah.
They make a half-ass. They take a half step, like I'm gonna
forget it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chase after it in the wind. No, I won't.
No, that's me.
Not
it just
worth
blows
it.
down the street.
Gone. That's right. Yes, I've seen that many times.
Or plastic bags, empty plastic bags.
Chris, Tim, and I one time we used to play basketball in our younger days, and we'd go to the juice shop and have a juice smoothie afterwards. Just the two of us sitting on his car,
electrifying.
Yep.
The salad days.
That's right. Well, one time we were there with like 4 or 5 guys after basketball, and we were sitting there on the car hood having our juices, and a kid went in. Remember this? He was like 18, and he came out and was unwrapping the straw, and he dropped it on the ground. And somebody we were with said, probably the Diesel. The
Diesel or Jerry, I can't remember which.
They were like, "What? We live here. This is the earth. Come on.
This is a society."
And he had just taken great pleasure in dropping it right out the car window. And, I didn't say anything, but other people were like, "What? How dare?" And they called him out on it, and he just gave us the finger. All of us sitting there.
Just pulled out in the parking space.
Right away.
And drove away
and
with his
did
juice.
Not care one bit about that. But I didn't even know about Earth Day until 1989 or 90.
I think, I was had an eye exam a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to make an appointment for my wife, and the woman said, "You can call me to schedule her appointment, but don't call me during Earth Week."
What?
I'm like, excuse me? You mean the week after Easter? That's right. Earth Week. So that's how, it's still a thing.
Well, clearly. Probably more of a thing now than ever. Skinny, you're talking about littering. Go ahead.
Yeah, P1 out of Denton.
Yes,
I'm a mobile diesel mechanic, and I just want it to be known that truck drivers still have no problem with littering. I'm not saying all of them, but probably 90% of them. Just like if you just look down an on-ramp or an exit ramp, any places that they park, it's filthy. It's disgusting if you just take a look around.
It is. That is disgusting.
And is it true that do the truckers still use what we used to call trucker bombs, the Gatorade bottles filled with urine?
Yes, those are still very prevalent. It's disgusting. Like you can go into like a rest area and it's starting to get this time of year, and that's all you can smell is just the urine.
Oh.
And they're complaining about having nowhere to park, or having to pay to park places, but they destroy every parking lot that they've ever, parked in with trash and litter. It's disgusting, honestly. It gives the good ones a bad name.
I'd say, man.
And that's when you get the lot lizards.
Man.
Well, I wouldn't want to work there if I'm surrounded by the smell of urine.
Well, I wouldn't either. Thank you, Skitty. That's our tribute to Earth Day.
The Flying J smells.
When does the Earth get this much attention?
That's Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is a
friend of the Earth,
big proponent.
When does the Earth get this much attention?
Well, we're sure giving.
She sounds a little stoned.
She does. Well, again, it's right around 420.
Yeah, Herb Day, Earth Day.
Is it always this day, or is it like the first Tuesday? I think
is it always 422?
I think it is. I believe Earth Day is. Walter Cronkite on the CBS Evening News reported on the very first one.
A unique day in American history, a day set aside for a nationwide outpouring of mankind seeking its own survival. Earth Day, a day dedicated to enlisting all the citizens of a bountiful country in the common cause of saving life from the deadly byproducts of that bounty. The fouled skies, the filthy waters, the littered earth. The gravity of the message of Earth Day came through. Act or die.
Well, wow. That was a great one. That's how newscasting should be. You hear the teletype in the back.
Absolute legend.
That is genius right there. And that was the I think it was 71 when it started.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Early 70s for Walter Cronkite.
Remember Pitch In? Remember the Pitch In litter campaign?
Yes. Everything goes into a wastebasket.
Yeah.
Pitch it in instead of.
It was like a stick figure of a human tossing a bag into the trash can.
I read some stats on Earth Day and Americans who have eco-guilt. And the thing we feel most guilty about when it comes to preserving the earth is wasting food, which we all do. We waste a lot of food.
We do.
It just, for whatever reason, if somebody could figure out how to save it the right way and really eat your leftovers, that we waste a lot.
Tons.
Of food. We do.
We do.
It's bad for your wallet and it's bad for the earth too. And then the second worst thing is we feel guilty about trashing items that could be recycled. You put your can in the wastebasket instead of searching for a recycling thing. But of course, I'm upset to hear from Skinny, our caller earlier, who says, go down any on-ramp and you're going to see where truckers are throwing stuff out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, some stretches of highway and road are worse than others.
Yeah, of course. 50% of people say that we're more likely to do something that is environmentally friendly if we're not rushed or stressed. If we're rushed, we'll just go ahead and throw it into the trash can. We don't care about the recycling thing. And then 27% say, I feel guilty about leaving TVs on when I'm not watching it or lights on when I'm not using the room. It happens. There's that too.
To me, that's more of an electric bill thing.
Well, I think so too.
Yeah.
But is that somehow harming? I guess that's harming the environment. Is it?
I don't know.
If you leave the TV on for hours at a time, is that somehow harmful?
I'm not sure of the connection.
I'm not either, but I guess that's just called eco guilt.
Was it Woodsy Owl who said, "Give a hoot, don't pollute"?
Don't pollute. That's right. You don't see those guys anymore.
No.
Somebody, and they think this may be connected to Earth Day. The LA Times is suggesting it. 2 days ago, someone went through Los Angeles and randomly cut down trees, just with a chainsaw, and started cutting down trees.
Could it be just practice for this person?
For no reason.
Yeah, I mean, you have
Yeah.
to get good with the chainsaw before
maybe.
you can get a job.
Maybe. We have a police officer speaking on.
This is an act of destruction. Started getting pictures from many different people in the influencer space, downtown space, saying, did you see what they did last night? And I realized this was a little more malicious than, the city chopping trees down.
This happened 2 days ago.
What size?
Small to medium sized trees chopped down. They say more than, they said dozens of trees have been chopped down all over in different areas of the city. And they think it's one person going around with a chainsaw chopping them down.
Did the officer use the phrase influencer space?
Yeah. What is that?
Is that what he said?
I heard that too. What is an
I don't
influencer?
I don't think I know.
Is that where you go down and take your pictures? It's like the best picture spots. So that if you're
Maybe, or is that just where like the think tanks are and the creative people, creatives hang out? I don't know.
I don't either. I'm not sure why or what that is, but they were near the influencer space and all the trees have been cut down there. Maybe the guy's mad at young influencers and wanted to flatten trees.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? But that's very odd what happened there. But they're still looking for the criminal, and the guy says it's beyond comprehension why someone would destroy perfectly good trees. There's no reason to do something like that. Aaron's on the line talking about litter here on this Earth Day. Aaron, go ahead.
Yes, I'm Aaron, P1 from Savannah.
Thank you.
Every time I think of littering, my family, we had one on vacation when I was growing up, and I don't remember exactly.
Aaron? You're cutting out on us, Aaron. I'm sorry.
Toss your phone out the window. I'm sorry we lost you, Aaron.
We lost you, Aaron. Dang.
We lost your connection.
I hate we couldn't hear her littering story.
Every time I think about it's a good tease.
Litter.
Maybe she can call back.
And then we don't get it. Lewis Black had some comments on Earth Day, and he's really enjoying all the celebrities trying to help spread the word about saving our planet.
You can always tell it's Earth Day when the CO2 emissions from the world's smokestacks start paling in comparison to celebrity emissions telling us we can save the Earth if we start acting a little more like them. Just ask Matt Damon, who contributed this tip to Oprah Winfrey's Earth Day special.
I've got a great one for you. If your house is anything like mine...
Stop. It's not. It's a lot smaller, and it doesn't have an Affleck-shaped dent in the couch. Any other final thoughts?
If everybody used recycled tissue even, you would have millions of trees still on the ground.
I just want you to go now move to a cloth bag.
Use less gasoline.
There are kind of little things that you can do.
Do something wonderful for your life and get rid of this junk.
So there you have it. Advice on saving planet Earth from a bunch of people who couldn't even save Planet Hollywood.
That's Lewis Black. It's not an accident we're playing Coldplay here either. This is the band so environmentally conscious, they make you pedal a bike at their concerts.
To keep the lights on.
That's right. If you're not pedaling, there's no more music.
Do you want to hear Coldplay? Yeah, well, pedal harder.
That's right. That's right.